Hello guys, it's the Kalonga family. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today it's just me. My husband, he's working, so I decided to have a chat with you guys, or let's say to tell you guys a story. I don't know if I should call it a story or a testimony, but I think I should call it a testimony because it's actually one of the hardest stories about my life, and it literally took me 1 year 6 months. This is June, right? Yes, 1 year 6 months for me to talk about it. Well, actually last year I wanted to talk, I tried to talk about it last year around July, but then I actually recorded, and then I don't know what happened, and then the video just disappeared from my phone. I don't know, maybe I would like to think that maybe I deleted it, but I did not. I don't know what happened. I just felt like maybe the devil did not want me to post that video, you know. But then I know deep down in my heart that God wanted me to talk about it. God wanted me to talk about my testimony. So it's a very painful story, but it's a very painful story. So you guys, you should, you know, be patient with me, because I think I'm gonna, you know, break down a little while I'm telling you the story. So last year on the 15th of December, you know, I went to a function. Sorry about that, my phone just rang. So last year on the 15th of December, there was this function from this other company that I was you know, marketing for. I was a brand ambassador. I'm not gonna mention names, but there was a year-end function, and then I was invited, and with other influencers, you know. So yeah, we were invited. You know, I was okay. I remember that the day, I think the day was on a Saturday, and then the previous day I was actually at an all night. I went for an all night, and then after the all night I didn't go home. I went straight to the function, you know, without even sleeping, you know. And then I went for this function, and then, you know, everything now, it's just flashing back into my eyes, and it's scary. It's scary. You know, I always say to people that, you know, if you know what some of us went through in life, you wouldn't hate us. You wouldn't hate me if you know what I've actually went through in life. Don't mind the glowing sometimes, the smiles. Don't mind that. So, I went to this function. You know, everything was okay. I was fit, I was strong. So I was taking content with this other lady. We were taking content, enjoying. We ate. And then I think after 2 hours, she was not feeling well. You know, she started feeling dizzy. And then she said, Kiara, I think I'm gonna go home. And then I was like, no, you can't leave me alone, you know. I mean, she was the only person that I actually knew. So I was like, no, please don't leave me. I won't be talking to anyone if you leave, or if you leave, I might just also leave. But then she started, you know, I could see that she was actually not feeling well. And then I just said, you know what, it's fine, you can go home. And then we walked outside the gate. She requested, and then we went to the car. She went. The moment she left, for some reason I started, you know, feeling dizzy as well. You know, I was not feeling okay. So I decided to ask this other manager, the manager for that company. I asked him that, can I please sleep in your car for some few minutes? I'm feeling dizzy. And then he was actually laughing, and then he said, you're not feeling well. But then I was just like, no, me, it's not that serious. I just want to, you know, just rest my head. And then he agreed, and then I took a nap in his car. The time that I was in his car, you know, sleeping, I had certain nightmares, but I didn't understand them, you know. So I woke up. The moment I woke up, I just looked at the time, and then I went back to sleep. And then the other time that I woke up again, the other time that I woke up again, my phone rang. And then it was that lady's sister. She called me, and then I just picked the call, and then I was like, hello. Remember, I was not feeling okay already. And then I said hello. She started shouting, hi Kiara, you know, I trusted you. I thought you were a good friend. You left my sister coming back home alone, knowing that she's not feeling well. She said a lot of things, and you know, I just let her talk. Because I didn't understand what was going on with me at that time. So I could just hear that somebody's talking, but then I didn't really understand. I didn't even say anything. She shouted and shouted and shouted, and then she dropped the phone. So I just looked at the phone, and then just said, God, what's going on? Only if she knew that I also started not feeling well the moment she left, you know. So that manager, the owner of the car, he then came, and then I went outside, and then I told him that, you know what, I'm not feeling well. Something is wrong. And then he said, you know what, just there's the place they booked, it was like a guest house, but then that guest house had like a brine area, like the DJ area, the pool and stuff like that. It was a very beautiful place. So he said, you know what, just since you don't want to go home yet, you can just take one of the keys and go to one of the rooms, and then, you know, lie down, maybe you feel better. And then I took the keys, I went to that room, you know, it was upstairs. I went. The moment I entered that room, I got worse. I didn't understand the feeling. I didn't even know if I'm feeling a headache, or if my stomach is painful, or if my back is painful, or my leg. I just didn't know what was going on with me. So I started walking around that room. I started walking. I didn't even sleep. I was just walking and walking and walking. I started feeling more dizzy. And then I took my phone, and then I texted my aunt, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling well. Something is wrong. So I texted her, and then I just put my phone down. And then I went outside, you know, by the door to just check if, you know, I could just recognize somebody to call that manager, you know, to tell him that I think I want to go home. I went outside. I looked. There was, you know, a lot of people, but then it was as if I'm going crazy. You know, I kind of knew people, you know, from the company, but then I don't even know what was going on. And then I saw a lady, I recognized one lady. I called her, and then I was like, please call Praise. His name was Praise. His name is Praise. And then I said, please call Praise. He needs to come right now. You know, she actually called him, and then he came in that room. And then I sat on this other chair. And then he looked at me, and then he was like, Kiara, what's going on? You don't look good. What's wrong? I told him that I'm not feeling well. I don't know what's going on. And then he said, but I asked you to lie down, you know, you might feel better. And then I said, you know what? Let me actually go and lie down. Because when I came in the room, I didn't, you know, lie down. So I stood up. The moment I stood up, I fell. And then what I remember was he was, you know, trying to lift me. I fell on the floor. And then he was trying to lift me, you know, to put me on the bed. Um, and then he said, he carried me, he put me on the bed, and then he said, can I call Lele? There's this lady called Lele, and this other lady, I forgot her name. And then I remember, just nodding my head. So when he went outside to call these two ladies, by that time I realized that I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I actually had a stroke. My right side, this right side, I had a stroke. I couldn't move this side. Even this eye, I felt like it was now looking the other way, but this one, it was okay. So I could like feel my fingers and everything here, but this part of my body, I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't feel anything. Oh God. It took me time to talk about this because every time when I think about it, I don't know. So he went outside and then he called the two ladies, and then by that time I couldn't talk anymore. This side I couldn't move, my right side. But I could hear what people were saying. I could hear my phone ringing. I couldn't answer. But then I heard someone picking my phone, talking to somebody, but okay, so the ladies came, and then I remember he asked one of the ladies to massage me, to massage me. I think maybe like he saw that, I couldn't move. But then at the same time, I felt like they didn't really know what was going on, how I was feeling. So the other lady, she started massaging me. She started massaging my body, my hands, my shoulders, my stomach, my hip, my leg. So I was, lying down, right? So the moment she was massaging me, the only thing I tried to do was to hold her dress with this end. I had to hold her dress, She didn't see that I was trying to, like, I don't know. I just held her dress. So she finished massaging me. So the moment she wanted to like move, like few steps away from me, she saw that I was holding her dress. And then that moment, that's when they saw that no, Kiara can't talk anymore. And then I saw now it was now those two ladies and the manager, and I remember there were other people, but I don't even remember their names or their faces. So the moment she realized that I can't talk, I started shivering. Like, oh, my apologies, I'm gonna speak in Shona, you know. Ndagatanga ku ndakatanga kubvunda, mazino angu akatanga kubvunda, like I was shivering. And then ndobva ndatanga kunzwa rurimi rwangu ruchibuda, rwakutobuda like panze. And then I started biting my tongue. You know, I was shivering so hard. And then the next thing I remember, after, you know, what was going on with my teeth, I just took my last breath. I took my last breath, and then I remember, this is the most scariest part of my story. Pandakatanga kubvunda mazino ndichizviruma rimi, ndakabva I just breathed out, and then I saw myself walking in the clouds. It was beautiful. I was walking in the clouds, and then I saw stairs. Those stairs, they were made out of sky and clouds. Like, mastairs wayo akakaitwa kunge clouds, like a mixture of like the sky and the clouds. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I've never seen anything like that. And then I started taking those stairs, and then I saw a white big gate with big handles. Beautiful. I started walking and walking. I was walking slowly. I was walking and walking and walking. When I got to the gate, I just held the handle. I wanted to open the gate, you know. The moment I just hold the handle of the gate, I heard someone calling me, Kiara, 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 Kiara. And then I remember I looked with this side. I just hold the handle of the gate, and then I heard my name, and then I looked like this. The moment I looked, that was the moment I opened my eyes here on earth again. I opened my eyes. The moment I opened my eyes, I cried. I cried like a baby. I've never seen myself crying the way I did. You know, the moment I opened my eyes, you know, there was a lot of people surrounding me. Because I know that, you know, I was probably behaving in a strange way. So the moment I opened my eyes, I saw this lady, Lele. She was holding my dress, calling me Kiara, Kiara, Kiara. The same voice I heard when I was walking in the clouds, when I was about to open the gate. I cried because that moment, everything was still flashing back, you know, in my eyes. The gate, the clouds, the sky. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. But at the same time, I was scared. I cried. I remember she asked me, "What's wrong? What's going on with you, Kiara? What's going on?" The only thing I said was, I was walking in the clouds. I saw stairs. I saw a big gate. And then you called me. And then I looked. And then now I'm back again. And then I started crying. I started crying like a child. I cried. And then after that, they tried to, you know, comfort me and all that, but it was just so hard because everything was just still here. You know, that's when I realized that I was already gone. I was gone. Guys, life is very short. So they tried to comfort me, and then I, you know, just calmed down. And then there was this guy called Simba. He was supposed to have taken me back home. And at the time they said, "Okay, you know what, Kiara, we're gonna take you home." I don't even remember how I left the place. How I got home, I don't even remember. I just remember when I was now by the gate, and then my aunt, she came outside, and then she was asking me, "What's wrong?" And then I started crying because every time people ask me what's wrong, I would just see myself walking in the clouds again. So she just put me, you know, at the back, and then she took me inside the house. That whole time, I didn't even, it's like I was unconscious. But then I would just like wake up and see that, okay, this is this person and this person, and I'm doing this. And then I'll just go blank. I just remember, you know, getting inside the house. And then the other time that I remember, I was naked. My aunt was actually bathing me, so she just put cold water. The moment she just put water on me, it's like I woke up, but then I was awake, but then it's like I was not there, you know. And then I saw that, okay, I'm naked, my aunt, she's bathing me, and then I went blank again. And then I don't even remember the whole time she was bathing me, when she took me inside the bedroom. I don't even remember, even until now. And the other time, I remember I was sleeping and then I woke up and then I asked her for water. She said, I drink a lot of water. You know, normally, zvinonzi kana munhu afa, kana kuti afa, obva amuka, kana kuti akuda kufa, anodyisa kana kuti anokumbira mvura. So the moment I asked for water, she was so scared. Kuti, is this the last water that I'm gonna drink? Or ndatodzoka? She was so scared. She just gave me the water. I drank and then I asked. She said I kept on asking for water. And then after that, I slept. I couldn't. This whole part, it was useless. I couldn't use it. They were doing everything for me. Oh, God. So I got help. I got people to come, you know, and pray for me. They helped me they prayed for me, and then they said I need to start exercising this side, because if I don't use it, I'm gonna stay like that. So they said I need to start doing things for myself, picking things for myself, sit, stand, you know, because, you know, like exercising faith that I was healed. And then after that, I slept again. And then after that day, I spent 2 good weeks. They were doing everything for me. I was exhausted. I was tired. It's like I walked from here to another country, you know. It's like I walked from here to another country. I was exhausted. Even a single cup, I couldn't even hold it. I was just exhausted. But that whole process, when I was walking in the clouds, they said it only took less than 5 minutes. But to me, I felt like I walked a long distance. So in those 2 weeks, I was praying. The only thing that I could do was praying. I asked God to heal me, to deliver me. I also asked for a life partner. I said, God, after this, I'm gonna praise you because I don't know why you brought me back to life. So I'm gonna praise you. I'm gonna worship you. I'm gonna do what the word says. And then I also asked for a life partner. I said, God, I don't want to date anybody anymore. But if you're to bring somebody into my life, that person will have to be my husband. Only. And then in that 2 weeks, I went to my uncle's. After 2 weeks, I went to my uncle's house. It was now on the 24th of December. Ndichingopinda mumba ndichingogara. That's when I received a call from Gift Kalonga, who is now my husband. It's funny, you know, it's very funny how the first call I got from somebody who's not a family member was from Gift, thanking me for the song that I had marketed for him, you know. He was so excited to talk to me, and then I was still not okay. So I just said, I don't normally answer work calls. I only take WhatsApp. But that day I took the call. I don't even know why. Even until today, I don't even know why I took his call. Because I was not okay. I don't normally take work calls. Normally the phone would just ring and I'll just look at it until the person texts a WhatsApp message. That's when I'll respond. But that day I took his call. And then he was so excited to talk to me. And then I was so down, and then I just said, you're welcome. Yeah, and then I said I actually want to prepare because I want to go and see my mother in Rustenburg. So I had to like quickly rush the call. And then after that, he just kept on calling me. Until today, he is now my husband. I thank God for Gift because this man, the time that I met him, the time that I started talking to him, it was just after I had a death experience, and after I asked God that the next person who's gonna come, that's gonna be my husband. And so the reason why I decided to record this again, it's because it's been haunting me. I feel like God has been wanting me to give this testimony, you know, to tell the whole world what he has done for me. God brought me back to life. you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, that God does in my life. There's a lot. There's a lot. This is not just the only testimony. I have a lot of, you know, scary things. Actually, my life has been such a scary one. A scary one. If it was not for God, I wouldn't have been alive today. And it's so funny how a month before my death experience, I asked God for, you know, a companion, because that whole year I struggled to sleep. From January to December, I never slept at night. Not even for a single day. I would only sleep during the day. That's another story for another day. But God brought gift into my life because I spent a whole year without sleeping at night. And even until now, if my husband go out or maybe to the shops or anywhere, I don't sleep. If my husband is in the dining room and I'm in the bedroom, I don't sleep. The moment he wakes up, I'm up. The time that he's sleeping, I'm sleeping. I don't sleep when my husband is not there. It's just something where I had this trauma that I can't sleep alone. I only sleep if my husband is there. If he's not there, I wait for him till he comes back and then I sleep. It's very funny. This is our second day in marriage, and I've never slept for a day without my husband. I actually can't. So I really cherish that man because he's a God sent. Guys, rapture is happening very soon. You need to give your life to Christ if you have not yet. Jesus is real. Jesus is alive. Heaven is real. Heaven is real. God is real. So yeah, you know, I have people, I was actually talking to the people that were there the day that I actually had this death experience, and I've always been telling them that every time when I want to talk about it, I just kind of, because I'm scared to think about it again. They're always telling me, Kiara, you need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. Maybe one day I'm going to do a video calling them, you know, for each person to talk about that day. How I cried and what really happened to me at that time. So guys, thank you so much for listening. To those who have listened to this far, thank you so much for listening to my story. I have more stories coming. I just hope that God will give me the courage to share with you guys. It's just that sometimes we don't always have the courage to talk about things. You see people smiling, you see people yay, and you think, some people, they don't go through hell. But people do out there. People do. They wanted me dead. Well, they wanted me dead. But God brought me back to life. I'm still alive today. Which is why this whole thing, God had planned it. After I made gifts, I got engaged, we did our lobola, my bridal shower, and the wedding same year. So please tell me if this is not God's will, if this was not God. So see you next time for another story about my life. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.